There we go.
I'm just
Since we started, you want to maybe do a little introduction of what the coffee and chat is, guys? Yeah.
The what?
Coffee and chat.
Oh, who, us?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm Yitzhak. This is Tikva.
Hi.
Aliyah Live Shipping. This is our second coffee and chat. Baruch Hashem, the first one seemed to be pretty successful. Had a lot of people joining us, had a lot of information given over, and a lot of good reviews. So God willing, we'll be able to do it again.
Fantastic, Marcy.
yeah, it was great. People had a lot of questions. It's just a very casual kind of chat question about Israel. If we can help somebody, we can get to see faces that we never get to meet. We see them on WhatsApps and Facebook, and nice to see kind of in person or somewhat. This is it's just really nice. We had a pretty nice turnout the last time, so I'm hoping we get a few more people joining in soon.
Okay, we have a Bracha Leah here. Hello, Bracha Leah.
Hi there.
Where are you from?
I live in Lakewood, New Jersey as of right now.
Great. So you're
Yeah.
planning on making Aliyah?
Indeed.
Great.
Yeah.
So ask us any questions or whatnot.
I just want to hear information. Like, I don't really have specific questions, so I'm just here to listen.
Okay. Do you have a time frame when you plan on making Aliyah?
Yeah, hopefully within the next 6 months, I'm hoping. Like, I was having trouble for the past year and a half to get my birth certificate.
Mhm.
So I just got it this week. So now I could finally like really continue the process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fabulous.
That
Yeah.
is. Congratulations. That paperwork can be such a monster.
It can
Yeah.
be. I heard things were really delayed with Corona and everything's backed up. So that's great news that you got that. And do you
Yeah.
know where you're going to be living, or you're just starting to look into communities?
So I definitely want to live in a farm, on a farm. So
Yeah, I'm hearing that more and more these days. People want farms. I'm
yeah.
definitely hearing that a lot.
It's challenging though, to some extent. No?
If you know what you're doing, then yeah, it depends.
I work with horses now, so I just want to continue doing that.
Hmm. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
We were just driving from Ma'alot down south to Haifa. And if you guys are familiar, there's like, as you get closer to Haifa, there's like tons of horses over there and tons of cows.
And cows and horses. It was so beautiful. They're just eating these wildflowers. Really...
Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet.
This time of year, it's like everything is like sort of, it's green. In a lot of tall grass. So they're just like having a feast out the side of the freeway, Well, it's actually quite a distance down.
Yeah, but you see them while you're driving. The rain brings in like all this wonderful grass and flowers. This is a great time of the year. Everything is so beautiful and green.
So you thinking maybe up north would suit you more, or south?
Yeah,
What do you think?
I have like some friends up north, so I feel like I'll feel more, like have that community. And I speak Hebrew, so I'll feel comfortable anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have some family,
Yeah, so you're all set. If you already speak Hebrew and you know what you want to do, that's good.
Yeah, yeah. I actually have it's a little bit like, I feel like it's a little bit harder to do Aliyah if my parents are Israeli, so I have to get an Israeli passport before I go. So it's like an extra step,
Have you been registered as a citizen of Israel and have an Israel passport?
No, I don't. I was never registered. I always lived in America, so.
And are your parents healthy and alive and with you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Our
so
son.
that's one step easier.
Yeah, thank God. So
How old, if I may ask, are you?
I'm 21.
Okay, so that's better than if you would be 31 in terms of getting that documentation done with
Why?
the Israel consulate.
she asked why.
It's because everything has to kind of be corrected under Israel law with the Israel consulate. Technically, it's easier if it's done before age 18 and your parents registered your birth and them as your parents. If that's not the case, they have to see that they are registered as a married couple in Israel, and then they have to register your birth with your birth certificate and an apostille.
Right, so that's what I'm waiting on right now. I have to get, I'm actually waiting on, I'm gonna put my video on.
Oh.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hey.
Nice to see you.
Nice. Thank you for joining, you know.
Yeah.
Small intimate group. Last time we had like, I think
Like 20 people.
20 people, but whatever, you know, this is great.
Yeah. So, I think I'm waiting for I was born into the 5 boroughs, so I'm waiting to get a letter of exemplification. So that's going to take like a month, and then the apostille takes like another month.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm just being realistic, you know. I would love to just move to Israel and do everything in Israel, but I don't think they'll let me in without an Israeli passport. So
You have to really get that Israeli passport first, and that becomes difficult unless you're registered.
yeah, so yeah, I would love to be in
So-
Israel already.
My father's
you-
Israeli, and when I was in seminary and I tried renewing my visa, I got caught and they said, no, you need an Israeli passport. So when we made Aliyah, I went as a returning citizen.
Mhm.
And when we first started our documents, I wasn't ready to tell my family that we wanted to make Aliyah, but I needed my father's 2 Gatzahut. I had no
Yeah.
choice. I had to tell him.
Yeah, yeah, I'm also like, my dad grew up in Israel, and like he wanted to like move to America, you know, and I'm just doing it the other way around. So like it's kind of difficult, but you know, it's my decision, and you know, they're not giving me too much of a hard time because they will have to come down with me to Manhattan.
Did he register his getting married to your mom in Israel yet, or not?
Yeah, they got married in Israel. So
Okay,
they
and-
have their marriage license is Israeli.
Oh, great. Okay, that's one step easier.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
Great.
I feel like, you know, you go to Mishpat Panim and you just give them your 2 Gatzahut number and they suddenly know everything about you. They'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
your grandfather's name is such and such, your mother's name, your father's name. It's like they
Yeah.
just, so hopefully
they-
they have all that information and, you know.
Yeah,
Make it
I
look
was
easier.
actually in seminary in Israel, and they didn't know that I like until now, until I applied with Nefesh B'Nefesh, they didn't know that I was Israeli or had Israeli parents because my English name is spelled differently. Like the way they like copied over the name in English, it's a different spelling. So like I'm basically not connected with my parents. I don't have any connection to anyone.
Mhm.
So I was able to, all the years I was able to fly in and out. And then as soon as I applied, like I'm kind of screwed, you know?
Right.
But I'm like, for the past 2 years, I've been wanting to just like go to Israel, but I don't know. Like, I don't want to, I know I could probably get in, but I don't think they'll let me out. So
It's been so complicated anyway the past few years with Corona. So
yeah,
once you sort all your things out now, like, well, you have your parents with you in America and, you know,
Yeah.
and come.
yeah.
Do you have
I'll
any
get a free
friends
flight.
living
Yeah,
here?
I have
So you're-
friends and family. So
That's great.
yeah.
Bracha, have you visited
Super.
Israel other than that 1 year?
Yeah, I was there in a couple of times. I was there in November of
short visit.
2019.
But
Huh?
short visits,
Yeah,
not
short
long
visits. Yeah, I was there for like 1 month at one point, but like that was like the longest other than the seminary year, which I actually got sent home in the middle of because of COVID.
Oy.
So yeah, I was sent home in March. So
Yeah, we've all been through some story similar to that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all been incredibly complicated, hasn't it?
Can we say hi to a couple people who've joined us?
Yep, we have a couple of new people joining us today. Hello, people.
Do you have any questions or anything that you want to discuss or ask about or anything like that? Anything specific or vague or general or? No.
I
What's
actually
going
want
on
to
with-
ask something.
Yeah.
Like I'm having a hard time finding like a rabbi to sign a paper for like the Jewish thing to like
Mhm.
proof of Judaism.
Right.
Like, where am I supposed to find that?
I,
Are you part of a shul?
Yeah, but there's no like specific rabbi. Like my dad is like, it's like a small little Breslov shtibel. Like there's
Is
not
there
really like
any-
a rabbi.
What about where you went to seminary?
no, but I heard that there's a list of approved rabbis now. Things have changed since our time when we made Aliyah. Now, is that correct, Bracha? There's a list of approved rabbis?
No, I mean not that I know of. If there is, I would like to know. But right now, it just says like there's a specific like format that you're supposed to follow, and then and I reached out to one of my friends that made Aliyah, and she's like, yeah, it was so difficult. Like she had to do it 4 times till they approved it. So
I heard that's getting harder.
Well, no, not really. If you're part of a shul, which is a recognized shul, either through the OU or Young Israel or any of the national organizations, or even any of the city organizations, then it's easy. The problem is when you go to a shtibel,
Right.
because then it has to be a rav who's part of an organization of some sort, which is more than just that one little shul.
right.
So the question is, other than that, the shul that your dad mostly goes to, is there any other shul that's a larger one that may be part of a larger organization that you had been to, or were you part of a day school?
No, not like nothing from like these big organizations. I mean, there is one of the guys in the shul are like he's like one of the like founders of BRI, which is Breslov Research Institute.
Right.
So do you think like that would be valid?
What about your high school? You went to high school in Lakewood?
Yeah.
So
Is that
what
good
about
enough?
asking there?
Which school? Were you part of a yeshiva day school type of setting?
No, I went to like a regular Beis Yaakov school.
Good.
That should do it.
The regular Beis Yaakov school, if
Right,
there
to
is
one
a
person?
principal or a rav of the Beis Yaakov, all he has to say is, yes, you were a student. We know you and your family, and you're born to Jewish parents, period. Jewish,
Okay.
born to Jewish parents. Like 3 sentences.
Right.
that
Well,
should
I
be
mean, I
enough.
have the proof in the fact that my parents are born and married in Israel. So I don't know,
Right.
like, does that even?
Now, that's not sufficient for them because they want to make sure that today you're also Jewish and you never left the faith. So if you were part of a school, for example, school community,
Mhm.
and you, the Rav of the school says, yes, we know you, you were in our school, and you're part of the school community, either word, and you're Jewish, born to Jewish parents. He shouldn't
Okay.
be, got to be careful because a lot of time the rabbis or principals get verbose. The more they say, the more they're going to trip up. They just have to say 3 things: Jewish, born to Jewish parents, and they know you.
Okay. So, and it doesn't have to be like a rabbi, or it could just be the principal.
Technically, it could be the principal, but if he's a rav, that makes it easier
Okay.
because you're part of a community. Normally, they want you to be part of a shul, and you're part of the community of the shul. But
I
being
understand.
part of a school is also a community.
I understand. Okay. I'll try to do my work there.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Hi, Pesach. Pesach, Orshan, Perella. Anybody want to have anything you want to bring up? Just say hello.
Yes, hi, Shalom. I have a question. I don't know if you guys could answer me or not, but I'm a physical therapist. Calling here and there, they're telling me that you have to start all over again. You have to take the exam and this and that, and it doesn't make any money over here. Any idea about that? Anyone is therapist over there to tell me what to do?
Rivka,
That's why he's just said my name.
Tikva, I'm sorry.
You may say mute it when you do that.
Akiva, can you put that?
I'm not updated, so it's hard for me to say.
Right.
I haven't worked in the last several years with the
Okay.
licensure setup in terms of physical therapy. In the past, it was not required to have a certification other than from a local school, but I don't know what the rules are today.
Right.
Okay, okay, thank you. No, they told me I have to take the exam and I have to start all over again. And they told me it doesn't make money anyway. So you have to start another job. Okay.
No,
It's not true that it doesn't make money. It's not true.
I mean, it's not like a huge income, but you know, it is a normal salaried position in the healthcare field.
They told me it's like 5,000 shekel a month, and which is not enough for a family because I'm supporting family.
Physical therapist,
Um,
occupational.
I think that's if you're working with a kupa and if you're starting salary. But there are many people who work with a kupa and they may work more than one position. And there are those who also work once they start building a clientele outside of the system.
Oh, so
We
you have to,
on my yeshuv, for example, we have a physical therapist who worked with the Maccabee setup, but he felt he wasn't making enough money, so he's opened up private hours within the yeshuv and the Gush Etzion area, and he's built a tremendous name for himself, and he makes good money because people want to go to him.
okay, good, very good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so combining private work along with, you know, getting started with Kupat Folim is one of your options.
Baruch Hashem. Yeah, but I have to take the exam. That I'm sure about. Bezrat Hashem, we'll see. Thank you. So what about the housing?
Where do you want to move to?
Well, I don't know what areas. They gave me a lot of areas that they're American, so I don't have to learn English, Hebrew so fast. But they told me those areas are very expensive. They told me I have to start like some places that is not too many people, and there are buildings that they're making, and you put some money down and then you pay slowly and this and that. But I just want to be in a very area.
Pesach, we can hear you guys when you're speaking, so I guess either just be careful or put yourself on mute, I guess, when somebody's, you know.
Can I
Thank
ask, what locations did they suggest? Because I'm also, I'm a realtor here, so maybe I can give you a little advice, but what?
Yeah, Marcy's a
areas?
realtor.
They gave me a lot of names. They gave me Golani Shmuel, something like that. It was around Yerushalayim. My thing was Bnei Brak, but Bnei Brak is far away from my it's too expensive. So then they told me a lot of other places. I don't remember the name. One was Gush Etzion. One was around Yerushalayim, Golani something, Shmuel or
You got Shmuel.
Oh, Givat Zev?
Give us.
Har Shmuel, maybe.
Harshmuel?
It's very expensive, actually.
Correct. Harshmuel?
something like that.
Yeah, it's
But
a very
then-
exclusive neighborhood. It's beautiful. It's one beautiful mansion after the next. Not far at all from Yerushalayim.
Did you want to be near Yerushalayim? Is that what you were looking for?
I want to be near Kotel. I want to be in a very, very religious area. That's what Hashem wants, Count, because I have to look at what is in my pocket. But is there any area inexpensive?
Yerushalayim.
Well, if you, I mean, Tikva and Yitzchak, David and I, we all live in Ma'alot, but we're up north. Bracha wants to be up north too. The north is less.
We're not far, if you're familiar with the map a little bit, so we're about 20 minutes drive just east of Nahariya, which is not far from the Syrian, I'm sorry, from the Lebanese border up north. We're in the Galil, which is like a mountainous area, so it's a lot of trees, a lot of greenery, a lot of small towns.
If I could say also, Tzfat is a very, you said you wanted something very religious. Tzfat is very religious and
And
more
very affordable.
And it's affordable too.
Spot
I
for
know.
sure.
Mhm.
Then I was told that it's like 3 hours to Kotel.
Right. The closer you get to the Kotel, the more
They told
expensive
Tzfat
it's
is
going to be. There definitely are places, closer. I don't, if you want to speak to me privately and tell me what you're looking for, maybe I can direct you.
So
in
I tell
something,
you
but-
something. Someone called me last week and he heard it in the show that they're making buildings around Jerusalem and in what was that name? And then you pay down payment. And
Mhm.
if you make Aliyah, they help you slowly to pay the rest and you get a job. That's what they said.
Hmm.
But you have to register for that, they say.
I-
They're building-
I'm not sure of something that helps you pay for it. You're welcome to, contact me privately after, and I could try to direct you in an area that might be suitable for you. If you want to tell me what you're looking for, I basically work in the north, but maybe I can at least give you an idea of communities, maybe if that's what, if you're looking for.
Can you send me your number, please?
Yeah, we'll put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
You can also put my American.
If we, am I being heard?
Now
Yes.
you are.
Oh,
You were
okay.
on mute
I
earlier.
don't know if it's on. My wife is over in the other end here. And get, what was it, Nahariya? We're going to be in Israel for 5 weeks in July and August. And we're looking at various areas that we can go. And Nahariya obviously is one of them because of the expense factor. Although
Mhm.
it's, it's up there.
It's only far from somewhere.
Well, I've actually all the times we've gone, I've never been to Nahariya, which is interesting. But is there a group, or I mean, I'm part of the WhatsApp group in Nahariya among other groups, or where we can meet with people, also in Beersheba area, and what else were we thinking of?
Possibly Ashkelon.
And Ashkelon.
Mhm.
We're not sure. We just go. I mean, we'll be staying in Yerushalayim for 5 weeks, but obviously able to travel at our leisure.
So there's definitely a growing community, 50 plus in Nahariya with Anglos. I work for Kim Bash Real Estate, and we recently did a Zoom session on Nahariya. It's just could be worthwhile watching.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, I'll second that. Watch the thing on Naria.
I mean, I have her.
Marcy and Kim.
I have her WhatsApp. I'm part of her WhatsApp. But
Okay.
I didn't watch the Nahariya one, although I knew it
Well,
was
you can
available.
either go to YouTube or I can post the link on here. It gives you an idea because there were some residents of Nahariya just speaking about the community, so just to get a feel of what it is. But it's a nice place. Wait, let me just finish 1 second. I know you said it's up there. It
Yeah.
is, but what I like about Nahariya is that there's a train. I feel like once you have a train in your area, it connects you with the rest of the country. Doesn't matter how long it takes to get there. Like you're getting there.
But you go to Jerusalem also?
So I took the train a few times from Nahariya to Yerushalayim. It's 2.5 hours by car or 2.5 hours by train. The train is a really nice, enjoyable ride.
It's a beautiful train.
And it's a beautiful, comfortable train. And you don't have to worry about the traffic, the pressure. You can come on tired. You're not driving. You don't have to focus.
You can rest, you can open safe here. You can
And
just
then you
kill
go to
the time.
Merkaz, like it goes to the center and then you have to take the bus?
No, so I actually went to Tel Aviv as well from the train, with the train. So from Nahariya, it's a 20-minute drive from where we are in Malo. I got on the train. I think I transferred at the airport. So the train at Nahariya will go directly to the airport, or it depends where you're traveling. But if you just go to Google Maps or just put on the train website, you'll find
You go to Beit Shemesh.
you'll find your line where you're going, and it tells you where to transfer. And at the train station, you transfer. So it was really pretty simple. And I believe there was a budget approved to create a high-speed train. I don't know how long that will take till it's built, but
To
it's,
Haifa.
it's a, yeah, but we're the last,
It'll be awesome.
we're the last stop on the train, Nahariya, so you can fall asleep.
Marcy,
You won't miss
do
your
you
stop.
have an Ashkelon group too? Marcy?
How often does
sorry?
the train come?
How often?
Um,
Every hour. Every hour.
Oh, I'm not sure. I just checked the schedule before I leave.
No,
I'm
but
not
it's,
sure.
I saw that it's frequent enough that it's
Frequent
coming.
enough, okay.
It's
That's
not
what I
like
want
a
to
light
hear.
rail or a subway, you know, it's a little
Right.
more.
We're ex-New Yorkers, so.
many
Oh,
years.
so
Yeah.
we used to take the A train, you know, or take the Long
Yeah.
Island Railroad into Penn State. It's much, it's just like you transfer to Jamaica, you transfer,
Right.
you know,
Okay.
it's not a
Very
big deal.
doable.
It's usually across the track, the station.
All right.
But yeah,
Doable.
if they build the high speed, they'll, you know,
How big
Even
how big
better.
a town is Nahariya in terms of area? Is it walkable from one end to the other, or that's just not?
it's walkable.
No, there
That's
are
fine.
different neighborhoods within
Yeah.
Nahariya. So it would be a little, if you're living in the main area where I would say the majority of the Anglos are, you could walk, you don't need a car. You can do your shopping,
Is the beach
Come on,
important to you
Pauline.
guys?
And that's good. Yes. I mean, it would be nice. It's not a deal breaker, but yeah, it would be nice.
So Ashkelon, I see why you're looking there, and Nahariya is definitely a place due to the fact like they have like chess get-togethers on the boardwalk and then next to their coffee place on every twice a week. You know what I mean? They get together. It's a nice community.
Still looking, well, and Dati, obviously,
Yeah.
from that perspective, I mean, we were one time with friends at the beach on, where was it?
Natanya.
Yes. that
Yeah,
is
well,
it,
Natanya,
yes.
Natanya too.
Yes.
And also in, a friend points out, walking on Motzi Shabbat, and he goes, oh, by the way, that's Gaza. You see those lights there?
Oh.
And he was pointing that out. It was like, okay, that's a perspective, but you want to be near, but the negative of Nahariya is the distance from Yerushalayim.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's-
Right.
it's doable.
You make a trip out of going to Yerushalayim. Like Marcy said, it's totally doable on the train, but we used to live in Ma'ale Adumim, which is like literally 10 minutes.
20 minutes.
As a crow flies, it's 5 minutes. If you could
Right,
just
that's
fly.
another one. Aliyah do,
That's
man.
right.
That's another
Nice,
one.
nice
But
place.
it would be, how are their prices in?
Ma'ale Adumim, the prices are definitely going up. The neighborhood, the area itself, they put a lot into it. They're really building up. And as of the past year, I think prices are just really going up in
What are
Ma'ale
we talking about in terms of, let's say, a 3-bedroom ballpark,
For a purchase, I would say 1.8 million shekels in the Anglo area.
Okay, okay.
1.8 million, I think, starting. Right?
It's starting.
In
It's
Mitzvah
starting.
Nevo, I would say in Mitzvah Nevo. And maybe an older building you can get for less, but an older building would have a lot of stairs. Because it's
Oh.
built on the mountain.
Sometimes you get a ground apartment too. But
I'm
they're
saying
hard
the
to come
older
by.
buildings upstairs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We can still walk, but we always look
10 years in the future.
long term.
Yeah.
No,
Not
yeah,
what we
not
just did.
today, but what's 10 years from now?
maybe
that-
1.6, maybe 1.6, but Ma'ale Adumim's going up.
One negative I heard, I was reading from people of Nahariya is the medical facilities and getting specialists and the hospital and things of that nature. And again, we're in good health. We're 70 years old and in good health, but 10 years from now, ding, ding, ding.
So
So what have you heard? What do you know?
It's supposed to be a really good hospital. It's our regional hospital. And then there's the bigger hospital, Rambam, in Haifa.
Okay.
It's about 40 minutes. It's about 35, 40 minutes south of Nahariya.
I actually heard some. So I heard the hospital in Nahariya is not so great. Tikva, I'm sorry, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
I heard if I had an emergency to go to Tzfat, to that hospital, which is 45 minutes. But I will say that living here in the north, maybe it's just not as congested, fewer people. When we need an appointment with a specialist, we seem to get them pretty quickly here. Like in Jerusalem, there are times David had like a 6-month wait for something, and here, oh, there's a
Couple
doctor.
weeks.
You know, okay,
whatever.
so we went out to Carmiel, but like a week later, we had an appointment with a specialist.
It might be just like a one-off, but it does seem to be consistently so that there's a difference here.
And that was our experience.
So you might not have the emergency level like you do if you're somewhere else, but you get, I think, a very high level, consistent sort of medical care.
But
Right. I mean, I was just basing on what people were writing in Nahariya on their, thing. And there were some complaints and were going, well, you're 2.5 hours outside Yerushalayim, but I know there are various hospitals along the way in Haifa, and
Initially, we were told that the hospitals were good up in Nahariya. I mean, we have a friend who's giving us suggestions, which places to look into.
and one who's a doctor.
Right.
Yeah.
And he said Nahariya has good hospitals. So then Marty hears that it may not be so good. But okay.
Sounds like you need just one more opinion.
Or a 4-sided quarter. I don't know, a 5-sided quarter.
Too much information confuses me.
But I mean, we're trying to figure in a 5-week span, and we're supposed to go back again in the winter because we have a granddaughter who's going to spending the year. So we're going to spend a month with her, around her, so to speak. But what would be a good plan for the places that we've mentioned? Just get in touch with people, and I purposely planned on coming before Tisha B'Av and staying till after, because I know everyone's on Chofesh afterwards.
it's a busy week.
So
If
it's
you-
not going to
yeah.
be that
Book
much.
your Airbnb now for that week. So I would say are you on Facebook?
Yes.
I would say join the local Facebook groups. There's a Malay Damim community. You can join them. There's a Nahariya, Anglos of Nahariya. I'm sure there's one of Ashkelon. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, the Ashkelon one is really big.
I'm
and
on
Rick
that one.
James
I'm on it.
Yeah, okay.
And
'cause-
they're helpful. It's helpful.
Well, I find Olim love helping other Olim, or at least potential Olim. So if you post on there, we're considering moving to Ashkelon, Nahariya, whatever it is, we'll be here from this date to this date. Is there anybody who would be willing to meet? We can go out for coffee, just show us around. And I'm sure somebody will respond to that.
Got it.
Sounds good.
Any feeling about Beersheba? Anything that you would want to tell us about Beersheba?
Akiva, maybe, who knows?
I don't know enough about Beersheba.
Okay, that answers that.
Akiva, do you have anything to add to that, Akiva? Maybe about Beersheba?
And not lately. I mean, I have a lot of friends, but I don't have a lot of my Anglo friends down there. The hospital is enormous. It's
We have a friend who's a part of the hospital there for many years, in Sirocco. So he could fill us in somewhat on that, the medical part.
well, the medical part is excellent. They have it's a good large system. The problem is it serves a large area, including the entire Bedouin population down in the Negev. But it's a tremendous facility. I don't know, and there are several nice tea communities. I don't know on the Anglo side today. I used to have Dr. Glick, who's still there, by the way. Thank God, but he's an octogenarian. I think he's actually over 90 now. But he set up several of the departments of the hospital and the medical school in Beersheba. And there was an American community around him, but I don't know where that is today.
Okay. All right, we'll have to look into it. Okay, thank you.
No, how you guys doing?
Can I ask something?
Sure.
Sure.
What's the thing with like transferring driver's license?
That's pretty simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
What do I do? How do I do it? Because I don't know. Like
Basi-
I heard that they said that like you have to take another test, like a road test, and I'm not really.
The
They
first
just
year,
wanted-
I don't think you have to. The first year, you can use your American license.
Right, but they want to make sure that you know how to actually drive and go behind the wheel. It's you do want to take one lesson. You're required to take one lesson with a teacher. You might want to take a second one to feel more comfortable, but technically you can just, after taking that 1 or 2 lessons, sign up and take a road test. You don't have to take the written test. It's transferable for America.
I feel like everyone just like says it's so hard and people just fail.
It's not hard. It's that people get freaked out because they're so nervous about it. It's like when you walk a line and you say, don't look down because you get scared and you fall off because you're scared. That's what happens. It's not that it's hard. It's that people are so intense about it and so nervous about it that they make mistakes. But if you feel relaxed, it's fine.
All right. So is it
I'm good.
19, 20? Like, isn't it though, like if you have it for 5 years and you could just like transfer it without doing the test or something?
Not that I know of.
Oh, so anyways, you take a test.
Did you check the Nefesh B'Nefesh website on that? Because they're always updating that.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know, like, yeah, I guess I should check.
Right. We made Aliyah almost 9 years ago, so we had to take a lesson and a road test. I thought they changed something, but like I said, I don't know.
did.
'Cause-
They did. They made it easier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they made it easier. I don't know, about 4 years ago or something like that. I don't know what the details are, but I know they made it easier.
Nice.
It's.
Oh,
it
so
was
what about like a motorbike license? Because I didn't get it yet, but if I want to get it here, should I get it here or should I just wait till I'm in Israel and just get my license there?
Get it in America.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go. Ask.
Well, she brought up the license. What about like taking a car to Israel? You guys want a car over there, or told me it's better to take your car because it's so expensive over there.
Right.
Yeah, it's also expensive to ship a car, and the car will also be taxed. And it has to be the specific kind of car. There's a whole bunch of different criteria that need to be met in order to ship a car.
And the 80% tax. And everything that I've read from people talking to them, it's probably best to buy the car there as an Oleh. Either use it or new.
Right, that's what Nefesh B'Nefesh likes to discourage people from shipping cars. That's like their general attitude towards it. Some
But
people
native
do,
Israelis do it all the time.
and people do it. I mean, we have a shipping company, and we've shipped a number of cars, and it's not that difficult. It's just it's a large expense up front, to pay for the duties and for the shipping as well.
And to make
And the
sure that
repairs.
it's under the regulations.
What's that?
What about the repairs? I understand some cars are not there and getting repairs and parts are
Right.
also difficult.
Right, that's also very difficult as well,
Which
right?
is part of the regulations, you have to have this and this type of
So I
car,
had a Toyota.
this and this type of year, there's
Got a
different
Toyota.
criteria.
It's a RAV4 Toyota, and it's from 2016. So it's,
2016 RAV4. Can I say or no? No. So yeah, we were just looking at cars recently, but the RAV4, we saw them, didn't we?
Yeah, they have them here.
They have them here.
So if I want to just take this car roughly, because it's a nice car, I love it. So roughly, how much expenses we're talking about?
Shipping, where do you live? In what area?
New York.
Okay, so shipping from like New York to Ashdod, you'd have to drop off at the local warehouse. It's around, let's say, around $2,300 for shipping. And if you want to have someone do the paperwork and all the documentation for you, that's probably, he gives me pricing in shekels, but it's somewhere maybe around another $2,500 or maybe 3,000 or something like that. Or you could do it yourself, but it's just a lot of work and you really have to know what you're doing.
Okay. So roughly,
Plus there's the duties and any type of modifications on the car. I understand like sometimes things like headlights have to be changed because the US has a different standard headlight than what we have in Israel. I guess we have a European standard headlight. But other than that, I don't know what other types of regular modifications need to be done.
But that 80% duty is based on whatever price they decide it's worth.
No, it's based on Carfax. You have to give them a Carfax report.
Oh. And it's 80%?
Around 75%.
I think for most people it's prohibitive. For
And
the-
then I have heard, but I don't know, because we haven't done it. I've heard you have to wait till you get your Israeli license before you can pick up your car.
Yes, that's,
And just the storage fee can be, can end up running thousands of dollars as well. Is that correct?
depending upon how long it takes you to get your license.
Right, there are some risks involved for sure.
But my Toyota over there is how much now? Like if I want to sell this here, I'm buying one over there.
A RAV4 is probably a 2016, maybe around 120,000 shekels.
100,000 shekels, I would think.
About 100,000, give or take.
I just think
With
it's
low
like
mileage.
3.5 now.
What's that?
You think it is 3.5?
We can't hear you so clearly.
It's
Maybe
about 3.2 now, as of Friday.
Oh, the exchange rate.
Okay. Thank you so
Rafa,
much.
in the chat, I put in a
Right.
link to the Nefesh B'Nefesh site about converting license.
Kol hakavod, that's now helpful.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm gonna check that out. Thanks.
Thank you. You guys are so helpful.
Hope we are. Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, well, we just have to take one step at a time, I guess. We're just far behind what you guys are saying. We don't even have a license and we're thinking about transferring the car now.
Step by step, you'll get there.
Bezrat Hashem. Soon for all of us in there. And then we'll meet over
All
there.
right, so listen, everybody, B'atzlacha, in your Aliyah, should go well. Should be, hopefully with Z's as easily as possible for everybody. And you should be able to plant yourselves firmly, here.
And if you're coming out to visit or moving, please contact
Yeah.
us. We'd love to say hello.
Do you have your email, your address, email or anything anywhere? We'll be here on mid-July.
So,
We'll be
I
there.
mean, we have the Aliyah network also. I don't know if it's been brought,
Right.
are you on
that's
the,
Aliyah network?
What is that?
It's a WhatsApp group. And Marcy and David run Aliyah network on both Facebook and WhatsApp.
we could put a link in the chat, I think here.
It's a support group where just only support each other, give advice. Yeah, we can put a link, but you can always feel free to contact us.
What's the name in the Facebook?
It's called Aliyah Network. David's gonna put a link in the chat.
Okay.
Aliyah Network.
All right, so the first,
Kochav Yisrael.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
us.
That's it.
All right, I'm in there. Yeah, I'm in there. I just wanted to
Okay,
check.
so you can look us up. If you're in the north, come say hello.
I'm trying to paste it.
You're the, let's see, your name is,
Marcy and David.
yeah.
Yeah, and Marcy is a realtor, remember.
So I put into the chat group, to everybody here, our WhatsApp group also. So if you want to join, that's a place where people say Shabbat Shalom, they say, how you doing?
They ask their
They ask
questions.
their questions. It's a group
What's
of
the
people.
name of the WhatsApp group?
It's Aliyah Network. I just put a link in the chat. It's the Aliyah Network, just to go over it again. It's a bunch of individuals who either made Aliyah, who could give their advice, their support.
Oh, I'm in there. Okay. Aliyah
Yeah,
Network.
and the Facebook right now is a lot of services are advertising. So people who are involved in real estate, they're gonna post their real estate there. If people are involved in shipping, other things, they can go to the Facebook group and find us there. And it's just a way to connect with people.
We try not to have advertising on the WhatsApp. People sneak them through sometimes, but we try to just keep that very
Conversational.
clean and conversational.
Yeah. So
But
please
we
join.
did advertise this event.
Well,
Yeah.
that's something else.
That's where I got it from. Okay, that's where I got it from. Okay, I was wondering where I got it from. Yeah, and you just put on something for the license. the
Yeah,
driver's
There's
license.
a link there for the license and for, yes, and then for the Aliyah Network WhatsApp chat. And we lost Marcy and David.
Right.
That's okay. We'll hold it together.
Yeah.
So, so how long have you been working with horses?
Me?
Yeah.
Not me.
It really started pretty recently. But I'm like really getting involved and I love it. I go
You
feed
know,
them in the morning.
Horse therapy is a thing
Yeah.
that people do here.
Uh-huh.
Oh, really? Is there
Yeah,
like
it is.
degrees for it?
What's that?
Are there like degrees or school for it, or just like based on
So
I don't really.
knowledge?
I'm going to guess like this. They have programs, probably Akiva knows a lot more about this than I do, but being in the shipping business, I've run across a number of people and just in life that have gone through these programs that are like, that they allow you to become instructors. Like I remember talking to a customer of ours that he or she, I don't even remember, it's a couple of years now, they went and got a tuda in being a ceramics teacher, like an art ceramics teacher. And we know someone here in Ma'alot, she was a Thai boxer from, I don't know, from wherever she's from. And she went and she got a tuda being a whatever fitness instructor of some sort. So, and a lot of the times these programs are completely subsidized or nearly completely subsidized. So it's very possible there is a program, a tuda for it. And there probably is an opening,
Mama?
once or twice, I don't know, post-corona, I don't know, whatever, however they're handling these things, but there probably is, and probably you could get it funded by the Misrad of whatever it is, Misrad of Generosity. And that will help you. But
Okay,
we
yeah,
have
maybe.
here-
I'm looking into like a lot of different fields because I'm in like part-time school now, but it's not like a degree. So just like it's like a health coach certification. So it's not really anything that like has to be like kind of like I guess regulated. It's just like a certification to be a health coach. So I don't know if it's even recognized in Israel, but like I don't even know if it's needs to. Do you know what I
Health
mean? So like
coach?
that's what I'm saying. The same thing with horses. Like if it doesn't have to be a degree, then I have an associate's degree here, and I'm thinking of like quickly finishing up a bachelor's in equine therapy. But if I don't like have to, and I could do it in Israel and just get like a Toda, which is not like degree wise, like not regulated, then I'd rather do that. Like I don't, it's like about, for me, it's about the heart. It's not about like having the paper,
Right.
So I don't
There's
know, like,
definitely got to be somebody that you can contact for that information.
Right.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Also, would I have to do like Sheirut for like a year before I do anything?
No,
No?
no,
You can, but I don't
Okay.
think you really ever force people to do things.
Yeah, but you might want to because you'll meet people and do things, and it might
Right.
help you socially.
Yeah. If I could do Sheirut on a farm, then I'll do it. Why not?
We had someone here from Ma'alot. She was about Shirut in the Gazelle Valley. Gazelle?
Yeah,
The Gazelle Valley. She was also there where they were doing bird tagging.
Cool.
So yeah, it's
What's
just like it was just outside of Yerushalayim, and they have this Gazelle Valley, and where all these gazelles run free and stuff, and it was just really a really
what?
really interesting experience for her.
Yeah, there's
So-
so
Sounds
many
very cool.
opportunities.
Yeah, it's not just always
Yeah.
going to the hospital or going to help somebody in schools or something. You can get a wide variety of different types of Bat Shirut programs. Not only
Right.
that, it's funny because our kids have gone through the army and Bat Shirut and different things like that, and now the university and schools and things like that. And they always see people on the trains, even when they're not even close to their homes. They still see people always because you end up having such a network of friends that you're
Yeah.
always seeing people and catching up with people. It's really
Yeah.
it's really nice like that your family expands.
Yeah, I
Right.
would love to connect. I feel like it's in a way it's a nice way to do it. I don't want them to just like place me in a random place that I'm not interested, like I don't feel passionate about it.
People usually get a fair amount of choice.
I think you can pretty much tell them what you're interested in doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds nice.
In terms of the animals, I live in Elazar.
Okay.
We have in Elazar a business called Chavayot. Chavayot is a therapy operation with animals. I mean, they have hundreds of animals there that are used. It's also a zoo and interesting animals as well for kids, but it's also a place that is used for different therapies through animals. Now, the guy who runs it is a guy who has, I believe, a doctorate in the operation of animal therapy.
Mm-hmm.
He may have some clues about what does it mean to work in that business in Israel. His name is Yoni Yehuda, lives in Elazar. You can look under Gush Phone in the internet. It has an English and Hebrew version. You can look under Chavayot or Yoni Yehuda and probably figure out how to get in touch with
Yeah.
him to get some sort of.
Okay, maybe.
Did you write that down?
Chavayot. Let me write it down.
Chavayot in the community of Elazar. And you find that by going through the Gush Phone, which is the phone directory of all of Gush Etzion, and it works it by communities, by the different settlements.
Chavayot. And his name is Yoni Yehuda.
Yes.
Yehuda. In Elazar.
Correct.
All right.
See, there's your first contact.
You've made first contact.
Yeah. I guess I really feel like now is the time. I guess I should start really doing the research. Like until now, I didn't believe it. Until I had my birth certificate, I was like, no, I don't believe it. But I think it's becoming reality.
As in all cases of competitions or doing, practice makes perfect. When one says, I'm going to do a marathon today, you die laughing. But if you run every day and practice and lead up towards it, by the end of the year, you're eager to do it. So with Aliyah, the more you practice and the more you prepare, the easier it is when it comes to actually doing it.
Yeah. And meetings like this really inspire me. So like it just gives me sparks. So
That's
Good.
what we're here for.
That's really good.
yeah.
Good.
Thank you. All right. I appreciate it.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Anything else before we close it up?
You have to stop
Oh.
recording.
Not now.
You have to
Okay.
stop the recording.
Yeah.
Be well.
You too. Hatzlacha and enjoy.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
And Naria, like you said, we're like 20 minutes from Naria. They really have a really nice, relatively close-knit group of people, younger, older, around your age group. I mean, they get together for Shabbat. I mean, they have shirim, they've got classes, they've got a weekly monthly or weekly parsha sheet or something like that.
I think something like that. I see on their not WhatsApp, the other one,
On the Facebook.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
They seem to have that. I'm not sure about the ages, but you know.
Right. His name, I think the main guy that's doing a lot of work over there is Mick Jaron, Jaron. Mick. He's really nice. I've never met him, but we've had a little bit of communication here and there. And he's always posting things. And I think he's the one who's kind of like formed the community or is shaping a community there.
Yeah, so you want to hook up with him, and like we said earlier, Marcy's a real estate agent, and they just put out a thing on Naria. And there's a lot of, I'd say Naria is a nice choice, so definitely visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to. We're planning on taking a ride up. I figure I always rent the car, so if I'm there for 5 weeks, which we already booked, and we already have a place to stay, you know, just to drive up there is another, 2.5 hours or whatever it is from Yerushalayim. So it's worth, figuring out and talking to people there and being there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before Tisha B'Av, because who knows afterwards who's going to be there and who's not.
Right.
And what the feel is going to be. And the temperature is probably a little less there than further south, obviously.
Yeah, but it's coastal, so it's humid and kind of hot. It's like, but
We're in Baltimore. It's hot. It's humid.
that's true. Yeah.
If you ever been in the DC area in the summer,
No, I
No.
haven't.
we've gone down to Florida in the summer to cool off.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll be
Not
fine.
necessarily temperature, but with humidity and everything. We've
Right.
actually been in Florida. We've actually been in Yerushalayim in the summer where it's been cooler than Baltimore.
Oy,
Wow.
vey.
Well, you
And then we were there one summer, I
hot.
don't know, it must have been 8-10 years ago, where it was record highs. I don't know if you remember that summer. It was crazy hot. So it is what it is, whatever you deal with. It's better than the cold.
Yep.
As you get older, the hot is better than the cold.
That's true.
All right, I won't take up your time anymore, but thank you for your help.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful
right.
day. Have a great week.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.